Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Hydroneer with Lone Debater 7, and today we're going to be showing you how to use all the stuff we bought in the last episode to reach the next tier of automation. The only stuff we're not using that we bought when we were in the town last time in the shop episode is we're not going to use the ram drills, the harvester, or the compactor quite yet, but we are going to use all the sorters and conveyor belts. So I went ahead and dug out a little bit underground here so we can kind of navigate this terrain a little bit easier. I am going to expand out the foundations ultimately just because it's going to make our lives a lot easier as far as walking around this mess is concerned. Basically what this piece is going to do for us is, as opposed to needing to manually sort all the goodies out of this bucket into each of their individual bins, we turn on water and take the bucket over there that's full of all of our miscellaneous unsorted goodies, dump it out on this conveyor belt. That will feed through this sorting system and it'll sort it into each individual item. So you do need 5 sorters. This one will do corundium. Next you got gold, then iron, then the gems, and then you've got your shards. So this is why you need 5. You need 1 for each item that you can potentially get out of, like brushing dirt or whatever, and this will sort it for you. The other thing that you need is water, which we're going to put in right here. Even though the arrow is pointing this way, it's fine. We can source the water right here, and that will provide water for everything. I did use 6 corks, so there's a cork on this end and 5 corks, 1 for each of these centralizers in the front. We're stuck. Unstuck real quick. Sorry about that. Happens sometimes. So we'll drop back down. So we've also got a conveyor centralizer out the back because this is where the sorted items will come out. So like let's say some gold and iron came through here. The gold will come out right here and the iron will come out right next to it. If we got a piece of corundium, it'll come into our bin with corundium. So that's how that piece of it works. So this is a very basic sorting system. This is the next level of automation because the amount of time it takes to manually sort each of these into their respective items so you can actually smelt them and craft with them and stuff, it takes a long time. With this, we don't have to worry about it. So we've got the conveyor belts kind of set up the way we want. Now we've got to bring the water down this hole and in for us to be able to use it. So since we're doing our water build over anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and set it up so we're getting 100% filtered water. So the way you do that, you put 5 filters all in a row, and they don't have to be in a row. You just need a total of 5 filters for each intake pipe in order to get 100% filtered water, which you're going to want for the next tier of automation. So when you're upgrading your water system to run your conveyor belts, you might as well do this part as well, because you're going to need it anyway. So it's like, as opposed to buying 5 straight pipes, buy 5 filters, because they will get used ultimately. Trust me, you always need more filters, and I put that fucking pipe on wrong. We're going to run this down, like right here, I think. Well, maybe not. We might go out a little bit farther. So I kind of want it like right here. So at the start of that hole, if we bring it down there, we should be able to get stuff working. So honestly, I fucked that up. When I placed this, I was off by 1. So we're just going to move this over. We're going to move all these over too. So the way you rotate stuff, the R, T, and Y key are your rotation controls for placing stuff in world. Each one controls a different axis, so sometimes if you're trying to get something to go a specific way, you might have to play around with it for a minute. But there we go, there's that. Normally what I do after the filters is I put a couple of pressure tanks, at least 1, if not 2, just so you can get the water pressure up really high before you start filtering it through for everything else you're trying to do with it. This is about where I want it. Like if I put the bend right here, it can go 1 more. So, well, honestly, it really shouldn't go 1 more, otherwise it'll be in our walkway. So I'm going to bring the pickaxe up topside so we can redig this hole where we want it to go down, as opposed to where it's currently going down. So we'll just expand this ever-increasing massive fucking hole in our plot even bigger so we can pipe in the water where we want to. So we've got that. Now we'll put the elbow pipe on him. And you don't actually have to build this stuff underground. I just thought I would because it sounded kind of like a fun thing to do. But there we go. So we've got 2 of these. You put shard bars, so these guys will go inside of there. We'll show you how to do that after we finish connecting the rest of the pipe. But these pipes are gonna bring this water down, is basically what's gonna happen. Now, I am kind of tempted. How many more bends do I have? I've got 2 bends, so I'm gonna try to drop these down inside so I can use them underneath the ground, because it's gonna be easier to build the pipeline underneath the ground from this point on. So we're just gonna drop some piping underneath real quick. This is faster than carrying them all the way down by hand. And we're going to put down the remaining pressure tanks we've got. We're probably going to need all this straight pipe. Hopefully this is enough to actually reach where, like, the front of the sorter chain that we've got. Otherwise, we're going to have to go back and buy more piping. But we're going to have to make more money to do that. Actually, I have no money because I had to buy more, single block foundations or whatever. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to drop these shard bars down there because I need to chop them in half anyway, so... Or, well, this one we'll leave up here because we'll chop it in half up here. I think it'll be less trips. But, okay. So, there's our little nub that we're going to be working with. If we throw one more on there, can do that. Then I think we want to go with another elbow like that. We might have to move that lamp, actually. So we'll do that. We'll move it back in line, kind of. Well, the piping's going to go right there, so we'll play with that in a minute. And we'll put it back in, don't worry. But we're going to do this. I'm going to put the pressure tanks right here as well. With these, I kind of like, well, I like having the door this way. That way it opens up like that. That's just me. It doesn't necessarily matter either. But that's how I'm going to do it. So we'll put 2 more pressure tanks. And actually, I would prefer to have the pressure tanks right after this bend. That way I don't have to stand on top of these bins to actually fill them. That might be nice as well. So I think we're going to just about do it. We need one more curve piece, it looks like. Damn, that sucks. We were so close. Well, what if we drop this down one more? Yeah, we could do that. And we will. So just replace all of these. Yeah. Sure, that'll work, actually. I'm okay with that opening. Okay. Yeah, we've got enough pipe. I think we've got 1 to spare, actually, with this little adjustment. There we go. Cool. So now there should be water going, or once we turn the little deal, there will be water supplied to this entire pipe, and all these conveyor belts will turn on when we turn that valve. I am going to just leave these pipes kind of just over in this little pit right now, because ultimately we're probably going to go through and add more stuff. I'm not going to hammer all of these. I will hammer the pressure tanks and the filters probably, just because those should remain where they're at. Like, we're going to need 5 filters. We're going to need this, like, this portion of the line should all remain the same. The rest of it might change a little bit. It just does depend. But we're going to take our saw, which is another item we got, and if you saw a bar, it splits it directly in half, so we're going to take these and we're going to put it inside. So you can try to line up your hole and get it in there. That doesn't work super great. If you hold the E key, it'll actually put the bar in front of you, and then open that, hit E again, it'll close it, and it'll put it right inside. So that is how you actually are supposed to do this. It makes it a lot easier than trying to, like, get the thing to cooperate and go in there at the right angle and all that shit so you can close the door. But now that those are powered, once we power these ones too, we'll have 100% water pressure within this system, even though I don't know if that actually is going to matter all that much to us or what, because technically it is just conveyor belts and it's not really... this one's a little bit being a pain. Doesn't want to take the bar. Come on, you can do it, friend. There you go. Okay, we'll just stand on this for a minute. do the same thing on this one, apparently. Okay. There we go. Close that. Close that. Now the water's ready. If we turn the valve, water will go, and it should turn on all the sorters and conveyor belts and all that shit for us. So let's bring our tools back down with us. So yep, you can see the conveyor belts are now running. So good. That is basically all that needs to happen with this. We've got 3 extra straight pieces of pipe, so when we expand the system, we can do that without spending as much money. But there you go. This is kind of what that does. If we take our shovel and just get a couple of things in the bucket here, we can show you what this actually does for you and how this system will work. Granted, this won't work anymore because we don't have water filling that bucket automatically. So really, we're going to want to switch over to the ram drill harvester setup is what we're going to do. But this is just, I wanted to show you how to automate your sorting system. So these are both shards, so they're going to go the same place. But basically, the way this thing works, and ultimately we'll hook your harvesters and stuff, but you pour your items on there, it'll go through, it'll get sorted by the conveyor belt and end up in the right place. So there we go. Our shards went through the system and ended up in the shards bin. If we take, like, let's take this gem, for example, and throw that on there, it'll come out on the gems belt. If we take this corundium, it'll go out on the corundium belt. Perfect. Look at that. So this is what that sorting system does for us. Really, I should put a T-pipe right here. That way I can fill up the water bucket in this spot right here. Because if I put a T on this piece, I can then have an outlet that feeds into this. And I could actually put another valve right here so I can turn off the water at this stage of the line as well. That would allow me to then put a T piece right up here and split it off and have something up on the ground level as well. I am out of cash basically, so I don't really have the money to buy more pipe. I might be able to if we take some of these gems and compress them down. So we might do that. I do want to show off like the compressor a little bit. So let me go grab the compressor real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to hook this up, and we're just going to place it at the end of the gems line. It's not like anything's coming through here right this second anyway, so it should be okay to do this. Where do I want to place this now? I could put it like right there, and then it's like embedded. That actually works pretty good. I'm content with that. But let's take out this one. As you can see, there's water there. That's good. We want water because that's what this is powered on. So we're going to place our compressor like that. So this is powered. If we take our gems here and drop the container and pull it back out, they're all inside. And you just pull this little lever. It'll compress them all into single big gems. So now we've got a big ruby, a big sapphire, and a big emerald. Now, granted, this would be better to craft into like a necklace or a ring, but since I don't really have any gold and I need just a couple pieces of pipe, so like I need about 50 coins in order to buy the remaining 2 pieces of pipe I need so I could still use the bucket. Really, I only need 22 because I only need like 1 piece of pipe. That way I can put a T down below and it'll just run it'll always be dropping water, which is fine. That's kind of what you want. But I want to buy another valve and put it underground with, where it, breaks the surface type of a thing. So there we go. This will give us 425. That, not a lot. If we would have used those gems to craft something, it would have been worth a lot more because those were decent sized. But that's all right. We'll get more gems, especially once we start automating our resource generation, which is going to be covered next episode. But we've got 23 cents in here, so we'll take our 425, add it. Cool. Put that bad mama in there. And then we want a water valve. And I want a water T-pipe. Just to start with, we're going to need more T-pipes and stuff like that when we actually set up the ram drills and the harvester. But we're going to do that in the next episode, I think, just because I need to generate a little bit more cash in order to make this happen. So here's this valve. So now we can actually cut this off at this point in the chain as opposed to up above ground, so we don't have to walk as far to do it. We can basically stay underground and just harvest our stuff, right? So that's kind of the idea with any automation is you don't want to have to walk around to a bunch of different places to deal with it. Granted, we're going to have to come topside sometimes to deal with these filters when they break. That's what that tool bag is for, as well as we might need to replace the shards at some point, so just bear that in mind. But here we go. This is all we need, and now if we turn this on, water will flow. I do need to move this bucket back, it looks like. So it's coming out. Actually, let's just throw one of these straight pipes on because I've got some. Right? So I could do that, place him right there, a little bit deeper, like that. Nope, doesn't want to drop there. Come on, stop being a pain in the ass. Like, please go where I want. Yeah, like there. Not quite. So I'm trying that hold E key thing to get it lined up. So there we go, that's lined up, that's reasonable. I can deal with that. There's not much walkway left, so maybe what I'll do real quick. Where's our builder's hammer? There it is. I'm gonna untink that one for a sec. I'm gonna move it so I have a little bit more of a walkway. So like, put some right there. We'll leave our pipes there, I think, for now. Like, it doesn't necessarily hurt us to do that. But we'll move our hammer over there. Cool, cool. Got this. And realistically, like, we could try to leave this set up as it is, because technically speaking, we want to put all of our gems inside of this so we can just click this lever when it's time to harvest, and then we'll have all of the gems compacted into bigger gems to use for crafting. So we might try that and see if it actually works. I haven't done that before, but if not, we'll keep this cork over here with all these pipes. So we can, you know, deal with that in case it doesn't work the way I think it's going to. But let's see now if we put this in and brush, it auto refills, perfect. So now we can do like what we were doing before, where we fill up the pan with our shovel, and not have to walk and process stuff a bunch of times, whatever. But now, as opposed to having to take the step after filling this up for 20 minutes to sort everything for another 10 minutes, we just put it on the conveyor belt, sorts everything. It takes like 20 seconds, if that, and we're golden. You know, you can take a look and see, and each of the resources, like, did you get enough gold to make the bar that you want to craft with? Did you get enough iron? Whatever it may be. You take these pans underneath here, and you just go to town, put them in the crucible, smelt up, and you're on your merry way, honestly. So this is the next stage in automation. As far as I'm concerned. So like getting a sorting system with a compactor set up, having a saw, an anvil, all this, like having this stuff set up, this is the next tier in automation after you've got the water automatically filling your pan. The next thing you want to do is build a sorting system, get a compressor so you can compact all your gems together, and then also make sure you've got a smelter and an anvil and an ingot cast, blacksmith hammer, that kind of stuff, so you can craft with the resources you gather. But now, our lives are a lot easier with this. It does speed things up, you know, primarily on the sorting end, so it'll cut like a third to half of your time, depending on how efficient you are at sorting your materials out of the pan one at a time, so you may build up some more time. So like if we take this, it's all mixed media right now, so there's a bunch of different stuff inside of it. If we come on up to our, not what I wanted to do, but if we pour all that stuff in there, it'll all get sorted. Look at that. Cool. We didn't even have to try. So that has water in it. Now he's back in place. Cool. But, so there's iron, there's gold, there's corundium, there's shards. We didn't get any gems, so we weren't able to test that out, which is unfortunate. I will try that. Like, I'm going to leave that compactor where it is on the sorter as long as possible, just so we can see if it actually works the way I think it will. But check out in the next video for an update on that. If you enjoyed the episode today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.